What's up, guys? Sparty back. Coming to you today with a follow-up to my previous video. So my last video, if you haven't checked it out, was on Plink dashing and focusing just on the execution of it. Generally, I touched on that you can option select a throw with the Plink dash input, which is one of the most powerful applications of throws and movement at the same time in Marvel. Today's video is going to be one on generally speaking about throw option selects, because throw option selects are the most powerful thing in the game. I sort of talked about that in the last video. And it is so powerful because throws are one frame. Jabs, generally crouching and standing jabs, 4 or 5 frames for most characters. You get the occasional 3-framer, you get the occasional 6-frame jab, but typically that tends to be the fastest move that any character has outside of like a really quick DP or something like that. So if you wanted to throw somebody, it's such a strong option. Throws can of course be teched, but you are resetting to neutral after that. There is no harm in defending one or trying to do one offensively. It's always a good option. So we do throws with a forward heavy input or a back heavy input. And typically we will be option selecting anytime we do a forward or heavy with whatever our heavy move is. In the air, you could do up forward, down forward, or straight up forward heavy, and of course all the back options for that too. Which is where the option selects start to come in. So Wolverine has a fantastic dive kick. The classic is if you do a dive kick in the air close to somebody whilst holding a forward or back input, you get this wonderful throw option select where you can just jump it and dive kick, and maybe you'll get a ground bounce, maybe you'll get a throw, depending on the position of the opponent and whether they're inputting a heavy input within the tech window of your throw. So this is really strong. And I just wanted to have a look at, generally speaking, how you can apply some of these to your game. One of the main ways is with dive kicks or things like Helmbreaker. Virgil's is so strong because Virgil can, as we established in the last video, Plink dash, and we can of course Plink dash and crouch, which is so strong, and my first video 2 days ago will show you why that's so strong. But also Virgil has the Pope select where he can pretty much dash and instantly Helmbreaker. This is so strong because he's going, if you're right next to him, he's going to throw you immediately. He's going to throw you immediately with this input. So you would do a Plink dash back and then an immediate Helmbreaker. And the Helmbreaker itself option selects throw. So he's got 2 option selects right there. So he's got the Plink dash back, immediately into the jump, into the Helmbreaker, which is also a throw. So the Plink dash back is the first option select throw, and then he jumps and does a Helmbreaker, which is a second right there. And then, of course, him being who he is, Virgil can do off Helmbreaker, option select into all sorts of stuff off that, or just cancel his Helmbreaker into swords or into S on landing. So there's tons he can do off that. So that's one of the most powerful applications of this. But we can do all sorts. So with Wolverine, for example, in the corner, you would, if you wanted to throw your opponent, you would have thought maybe, if you are new to the game, you would have thought maybe you would do something like this. Oh, I want to throw my opponent, dash up and press a stand heavy. So that, if I just let that happen again and get out of the way of it, means that you're just going to do a stand heavy whilst you're there in front of your opponent. But that is punishable in all sorts of ways if you are not in the way of that as the opponent. Sorry, let me just try that one more time. Let Wolverine come on over. You can chicken block that, you can jump over it, there's all sorts you can do. So you can start to layer in other moves because Wolverine's stand heavy is cancelable. So we can start layering in new moves. So if I was going to do this, I'd do something like that. So I've just inputted 2 moves in one sequence. Throw came out because the character was close enough to throw. Now though, if I watch this, you can get something like this, and you see we've got a Berserker Slash behind it. So that's powerful because now we're no longer leaving ourselves as vulnerable. But let's do better. We can do better again. So this time, instead of doing a stand heavy input, I'm going to do something different. So I think I got that right. Try that one more time. So you saw that was a throw right there. And I got thrown. I'm trying to react to the actual startup of the dash there. About there. Yeah, so I got a dive kick there. So all we got there was a throw option select into a jump dive kick. So with Wolverine, that's really strong because I can dash up and throw you. But if you aren't in a place where you are vulnerable, I'm just going to do a dash dive kick. And if you do sort of happen to be somewhere around the ground in the way of that dive kick, the dive kick's going to hit you. Well, put you into block stun or hit you. Or alternatively, in the air, let's see if I can play this one more time and actually have this work this time. Bit too high. Tell you what, if I do something like that, I'm bound to get thrown. Let's just try the recording one more time. Shit, not like that. That should work. Try again. Oh, I need to actually react to the... There we go. So, if I jump out the way of a grounded approach from Wolverine, I get grabbed instead. And this is the fundamentals of Wolverine play. If you're unaware of how Wolverine works, he's scary on the ground because his stand jab and his crouch jab have good range. They're both really strong moves. He also has fantastic stand medium, stand heavy, and generally speaking, Wolverine's most prominent threat is the fact that he can do a Berserker Slash in neutral. So people don't want to be on the ground against Wolverine. They don't want to be there, which is when dive kick comes into play. And if you just dash up and dive kick, it's strong, but if you get a throw option select in there, that's when it gets even stronger. And this is where round start becomes so potent for Wolverine. It's why we say that he has one of the best 99 second in the game, because he can, at the very start of the game, plink dash forward or plink dash back into a dive kick whilst calling an assist. So you can have some radical opening mix-up just by the start of having a plink dash there and getting some good options at the same time. That's so strong. Lots of characters have lots of options for this, and this is where if I do a little sequence here. In fact, no, I've got Magneto on my player one character, so I can't record anything with him. But if I have a jumping opponent, I can also option select into all sorts of things. So you can option select, if I just do 2 dashes like that, I'm option selecting a throw like that. I get a throw, even though it was just another dash, a dash input. The heavy comes out, so I can double tap that. But that's good. But what about if I plink it instead? So I get a fastest possible jump heavy. I can also get the throw input by plinking medium and light through to heavy. Now, what if I don't actually do it low enough to the ground? Look, don't have to do it high enough above the ground to get the heavy to come out. What if I do it so low it doesn't come out? Well, I can still throw. So we can start to layer in heavies into our movements. So, for example, I can do this and get a throw. But what if he's on the ground? Well, let's set him back to crouching again. Nothing happens. But what if I immediately plink upon hitting the ground? Something like that. Well, if you actually get the directional input there, you will throw them. So I've now got two option selects layered into that one specific movement. But let's say for a minute they aren't. Sorry, you aren't going to go away. You aren't going to move backwards like that. You're going to go in and you're going to plink dash forwards. Well, you're still right here in front of your opponent. But what if I haven't thrown them on the way in? On the way when they're on the ground right there, and now they've jumped or something like that. So let's try this where I get them to jump here, and I do an option select something like that. That time it hit them. What about if I did a third one there? So I did a third option select there with it. So I'm doing air dash down forward heavy, plink dash forward to get another throw. So I could throw them in the air there, on the ground there. If I recognise now that neither of those things happened, I can now just jump heavy and maybe follow it up with like a mag blast, or jump heavy and do an air dash up back and then fly, or something like that. So, to show that in real time, that's something like that. Like this. And this is why throws are just so important, because Magneto is one of the best characters at utilising them. But this applies to all your characters. This applies to all of them. So, for example, Sentinel, if he's going to do a plink dash forward, he's got to jump heavy in there, and a lot of people will do something like that and get that into super, and this is a big part of it. But there's lots of different types of throws. Of course, I'm talking about plink dash throw option selects now, but we've also got command grabs, and command grabs also have, depending on the character, a whole sequence of option selects that you can do with their throws. So for example, I can input something like this, and if that was to connect, if the command grab connects, then nothing happens. But what I just did was a command grab, and if it whiffs, I get super, and I can continue after that. And you can do it with any super that you want right there. So if you whiffed, not like that, if you whiffed, you can option select a super. Like that. So you would see this with maybe, with Hagar, with Sentinel, with a lot of characters with command grabs who have any sort of like good super that maybe this might be invincible after it. Spencer, for example, might do command grab into Bionic Arm and then DHC to someone safer. But this is the gist of option select. So one thing I'm going to show you is ways that we can apply this. So of course we've got lots of things we can apply these ideas about Plink forward and then option select some other moves after it. So we're option selecting a throw, we're option selecting a dash, and then the follow-up after it. With, say, an option like that. But we can also just option select as we do anything. So if I just get Magneto out here, Wolverine, one of the favourite things Wolverines love to do is dash forward, jab into a slash. And if you're, for example, if you're plinking away with Magneto, one thing that is common for Wolverines to do is to smash a big old heavy berserker slash to chase. It's such a good move for chasing. However, where your Plink dash is forward, if I just hold forward and Plink dash here, the first one can throw, but the ones after it, if I just hold forward and Plink dash, I can't throw you. However, back dash Plink dashes will throw no matter what. Look at those perfect Plink dash inputs. Holy moly. Yeah, boy. Right, so the Plink dash back will throw offensively. It will activate a throw. It will initiate a throw on every Plink dash back. It will not do it on forward ones, but it will do it on back ones. So that's really strong versus someone like Wolverine, because if I just record the input again, something like that, we can option select a throw the whole time we're moving away from him. So we're moving away super fast. I think I shouldn't have put the dash in there, the stand in there, the light in there. So the whole time we're moving away, we get to option select that throw. Like that. Which is just superb. It's so good. It's so strong. Final thing I'll show you. One last thing, one last application of this. Virgils at the top level won't be doing this, but sometimes you get a Virgil, they'll try and get in, they'll throw a bad round trip, and they'll do a teleport, and then they'll try and press some buttons afterwards. So they might throw a bad round trip and then come in and they're trying to press some buttons or something like that. If you are with any character that can do a grounded Plink dash like this, if you are crouch cancelling your Plink dashes as if it is a wave dash, you can throw, make an actual offensive throw attempt at all times like this the entire time. So where I said before you cannot Plink dash into an offensive throw attempt like this, you can move with a staggered Plink dash motion like this. It's a combined wave and Plink dash, called a wink dash or a wank dash. It's a bit grim. This whole time. So what happens is, if I just Plink dash back against Virgil here, I might get a throw against him. I might get a throw if the timing's right. You see, that time I got a throw. The first time I didn't. That time I got a throw just by doing a backwards Plink dash. And it depends on the timing of the teleport with your character's Plink dash back. So if I get just the right time, if I do it slow, it'll probably work. Yeah, like that. But if I continuously do this very quickly, moving back and just shimmy like this, I'm going to get that offensive throw tech or offensive throw attempt every time. So this is where throw option selects get so good, because they can limit your opponent's Rago options. They can't just do crazy stuff on you anymore. And if you're playing against low-level Virgils, mid-level Virgils, or a crazy high-level Virgil who's just trying to get in, just doing something silly, like a raw rapid slash or just out of desperation, or a teleport, because believe me, top players still do stuff out of desperation. If you put them in a situation where you frustrate them enough, they start to try and change it up and do something silly. It works at all levels, but it's especially effective against low and medium skilled players, those players who are just gaining experience, trying things out. You will win a lot of matches on the back of learning strong option selects like this. Were there any other applications that I wanted to look at here? We got offensive, we got defensive throw option selects. One thing potentially would be, I showed it off in the last video, would be something where we start just layering in these option selects into our defense. So with Virgil, we can start doing Plink dash option selects the whole time during his offense. So that, if he goes into spiral swords, is of course going to be just a safe block string. But if he does a rapid slash to mix that up, we just Plink dashing away and going like this, Plink dashing like that. It's that same Plink wave dash motion like that. It also looks really jittery and neutral if you're going to use it like this. It's really strong. It's really strong for both defensive maneuvers, for when you escape, but it's also really good just in general for movement. So, for example, if your opponent is, say, Virgil, and Virgil's going to come in and sort of like try and do a Helmbreaker there, well, then we're going to push block him away with that movement. We're just going to push block him away with something like this. We're also going to be moving. But if he does it at a time where you're out of the way, then you can move around things with your push block, your throw, and your movement option select. It's so strong. I fully recommend. I can't recommend throw option selects with Plink Dash enough. I'll have another video on this at a later date. If you have any ideas of something specific that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. I'll link my Plink Dash option select video to this one. But I'm just going to keep building on this tech and explaining more things that you can do with it, because it's so strong. But I've got other things that I'm going to be looking at in particular. So one idea, something that I'm going to look at is how do you deal with Hulk at round start? How do you deal with Hulk at round start? Because that is one of the most difficult round start things to face. And as Wolverine, I've got a fair few options against that, but so do a lot of characters, and a lot of people just take the throw versus Hulk. But we've got some throw option selects that work very well against Hulk, and in addition to that, just generally speaking, other option selects which build and layer your game in such a way that the Hulk round start doesn't corner you or doesn't beat you up so badly and just lead to you losing characters straight away. So, if you're liking this content, please leave a like. If you want to see more of it, subscribe. If you have any ideas about what you would like to see or ideas about something I could produce at a later date, let me know, and I'll put something together for you in the near future. Thanks, guys. I've been Sparty. This has been Sparty Tech. Tutorials of some description, throw option selects. That's what I've got for you today. So, peace.